This is the project we're going to do today. I saw a video that Kevin of Stampscapes did on coloring some of the scenic stamping using nothing but alcohol markers. And so I wanted to try that myself. I don't think I had near as much luck as Kevin did, but I thought you'd like to see the process of how I attempted to make this creation. These are the stamps that I used. The mountains are from the Nature Set 7. This little twiggy thing is from the Nature Set 13. The covered bridge small is number 319F. The large tree here is from the Nature Set 4. The Maple Brook is 259F. Cloud Strips 296C. And Rocks and Grass Large 254B. And these are all Stampscapes stamps. And the different supplies and things that I used Color It alcohol markers. I don't know if maybe part of the reason I didn't have much luck is because these alcohol markers for some reason don't work as well as the other ones that I've tried. But I am not overly satisfied with the results, but these are the markers that I had used, and also some of the other supplies. Okay, I'm using a quarter sheet of Chrome Coat glossy cardstock here, and so I've got our two main stamps in my Stampin' Up! Stamping platform. Okay, and I'll start by roughly positioning my first stamp where I'm going to want to stamp it. Okay, and now I'll turn around my plate in my positioner. And now I'm determining where I want to place that second stamp so that it lines up perfectly with the first stamp. Okay. I want to put a mask here so that I don't stamp over the trees that I already stamped. And now I'm going to stamp that second stamp and remove the mask. Now I'm putting it back in my positioner and stamping the big tree. Now I'm going to change the plate to the one with the mountain. I'm going to mask the trees I've already stamped and stamp the mountain. And now to complete the road, I'm going to stamp the rocky grass. Now I'm going to use a Color It marker to color some purple onto the mountain. And now I'll color some warm grays. And now I'll add some yellow-green and blend back in with the warm gray. And now I'll add a lighter shade of yellow-green. And now I'll add a dark brownish color in the shadow portions of the mountain. Now I'll blend it all out with the warm gray again. Now I'm going in with the Copic colorless blender to try and remove some of the color. Now I'm going to start coloring the trees, and I'll start with a yellow. And now a darker yellow, almost orange. And now with an orange. And now with a very messy red, and probably overdid it. Now I'm going to try and tone down the red with a darker yellow color and not really having much luck at it. It's just smearing the red all over. And so now I'm going to go in with the yellow to try and get rid of some of that red, and really not having much luck. The red is really making a mess of everything. So still trying to tone down that red by adding some of the light yellow green, and then also adding the green to the ground to start the color of the grass. Now I'm adding a brownish yellow color to the grass and then trying to blend it in with the darker green. Now going back with my Copic colorless blender, and I'm trying to lighten up the mountain a bit. I think it's too dark, and really not having much luck at lifting up that color. Okay, now we'll start coloring in the big tree with yellow, then orange, and blending it all back in with the yellow. And then the mistake of adding the red again. And then I try to blend it out with the yellow again, and once again that red just smears all over everything. It just doesn't blend very well. So trying to go in with my colorless blender to see if I can remove some of that red, and it's just in there. So now going and adding some greens to the shoreline there, and also to the big tree. So adding some more earth tones to the ground to add some light browns. And adding a darker brown, especially in the rocks. Now I'm adding some darker green to the shadow areas of the ground. And adding some lighter yellow greens to the ground to blend everything in. And some darker greens. And adding light earth tone to the bridge. And adding a darker brown in the shadow regions of the bridge. And then blending in with the lighter brown. And adding some cool grays to the roof of the bridge. More light brown. And adding some cool grays to the bottom of the bridge. And coloring in the rocks again with a light and a dark earth tone, as well as the shoreline. Okay, now we'll start coloring in the water with a light blue and with a darker blue near the edges, and blending it back with the lighter blue. And then just going back and forth between the dark and the light. And blending in finally with the light. The light is usually the last layer that I put on. Okay, and now I'll use the same blues for the sky, starting with the lighter blue. And the sky had so much space in it, it really didn't turn out and blend very well. So I just keep trying to blend it in. I even tried a tip to tip between the light and the dark blue, since those were the only two blues that I had in the set. And the sky just was not turning out very well. And I didn't like how the sky was turning out, so I put some rubbing alcohol onto a cotton swab and tried to remove as much of that sky blue as possible, and then added some more of the light blue in. And I used the tip to tip technique again to get a mid-range of blue. And I'm going to put it back in my stamp positioner so that I can re-stamp the major stamps. And now I'm trying some different colors of gel pen to try and highlight the trees a bit to subdue that awful red that I put on there, but the gel pens that I have just do not work at all. They don't put down anything, even the yellows. Once I put them down, they immediately started just picking up the color that was underneath them, and it was pretty much a dismal failure. So at this point, I pretty much decided to give up on the colored gel pens, and I'm just trying to put some highlights using my Uniball white gel pen. I would have preferred to use the colored gel pens, but they just were not working at all. So I'm adding some highlights here, the different areas of the piece, just using the white gel pen. And I masked the trees and put it back in the stamp positioner, and I'm restamping the mountains. And the sky was so bland, I wanted to add some clouds, so I used Memento London Fog, and I stamped some clouds after masking off the mountain. And then I just added some white gel pen highlights to the clouds. And now I'm going to stamp in the little tree on the left foreground using Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And I want to sign and date it. And I'm going to go out and spray this now with the acrylic coating, and when I'm finished, I'll come back and show you. And this is the final product after it's been sprayed with the acrylic coating. It's not anywhere near as nice as the one that Kevin did, but I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye!